What's up YouTube, I'm Max Klein and I'm back after 3 whole months of not doing any videos. I'm finally returning in order to do my third installment of the Nerdy News video series. This episode I'm going to talk about the Justice League, Man of Steel, and the new Doctor Who actor. Alright, so let's get started. So the biggest news in nerd fandom right now is not only are we getting a second Man of Steel movie, but in 2015 we're getting a Man of Steel sequel that features the Dark Knight himself. Now, they revealed that this Dark Knight will not be Christian Bale, so in other words, this is not only a sequel to Man of Steel, but this is also an essential reboot for Batman himself. And additionally, the acting role of Batman has been around the internet a lot, and rumors have shown up a lot. And the rumors I found the most likely to be the Batman are Josh Brolin and Ryan Gosling, two very good actors, two very well talented actors, two really award-winning actors that will play the Batman. And what this shows is that we're probably going to get an early 40s, late 30s experienced Batman, as opposed to a newly fledged Dark Knight into fighting Metropolis and fighting Superman potentially. Now, another interesting topic is who is going to be the villain in this movie. The biggest evidence I found is the fact that Lex Luthor's LexCorp, his organization, was hinted in the Man of Steel. When the tanker is thrown and it shows a LexCorp logo on it, that shows that Lex Luthor does exist in the Man of Steel universe. So that shows that most likely our villain in this movie is going to be Lex Luthor, like he was in the Batman-Superman movie, which was in the Superman animated series, The World's Finest, and was the time that the Batman and Superman did team up, in fact. Now, this is going to be directed by Zack Snyder, again, because it's a sequel to the Man of Steel with Batman in it. So it will feature the original cast, I believe, Amy Adams, of course, Henry Cavill, and all those other people from the first Man of Steel movie. And additionally, instead of producing it, Christopher Nolan's going to be executive producing this movie instead of just producing it. So he's still latched onto the movie in some way. However, he's not a producer anymore, he's an executive producer. Of course, David S. Goyer is the writer for this, as it is not only a sequel for Man of Steel, but also a reboot for Batman. And as far as marketing goes, I believe that this is the best possible scenario they could have thought of, not only because the fans are loving the idea just by thinking about it, but also because it'll get you a lot of money and it'll let you compete with Marvel, who are crossovering all their movies, like they did in the Avengers, and they're going to do in the Avengers 2, and also Captain America Winter Soldier, but that's another video from that time, I'll talk about that later. But ultimately, this is a good marketing scheme for Batman and Superman to team up, and also to reboot Batman for the Justice League, which I will talk about later in this video as its own separate topic. But ultimately, this is a great marketing scheme for both Superman and Batman, as they are seen as by fans the flag characters of the Justice League itself. And having a crossover movie is not only giving appeals to your fans, but also to your marketing and making you get more money and generating more money. Alright, so as this will be directed by Zack Snyder, it will be action-packed, definitely, and it will be, just like in Man of Steel, full of action, constant, really good graphic, really good CGI, very good stuff. So there's a lot of potential writing in this movie. Remember, it comes out 2015, no official date's been released, just in 2015. And also in other rumors, it's been stated that Zack Snyder is looking for an older Batman, which makes sense that he would go for Ryan Gosling or Josh Brolin, as they are older, more famous, officially really good actors and they can portray Bruce Wayne himself very well, I believe. And also, if you'd like to think of my thoughts on this, if you would like to know my thoughts on the casting for this movie, you can check out my video. It'll be up soon. I'll put the link in the description when it's made. So, what do you think of a Superman and Batman movie? Who do you think the villain should be? Should it be Lex Luthor? Should it be Joker? Who do you think? Comment below, let me know. Alright, as I mentioned earlier, the Man of Steel second movie will also help establish Batman for the Justice League movie that has no official date, but it will come out definitely. Now, we do have news of a Flash movie coming out in 2016, so the fastest man alive will be established by that time, which will give us further allude into the Justice League crossover movie that we've been waiting for. Now, this movie's been in the makings and been talked about ever since the Avengers broke $1 billion, I believe. It's the third top grossing movie of all time. So basically, DC needs to compete with Marvel, and since they made such a good job with the Avengers, obviously a Justice League movie is inevitable at this point. Now we still need to establish, if we're doing with the original cast, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and Martian Manhunter or Jean Johns. Now, an Aquaman movie has been spoke about, but has not been officially released. A Wonder movie and Martian Manhunter are the same. The Green Lantern movie did establish Green Lantern, so they could go with the Hal Jordan that was established in the Green Lantern movie that I believe came out in 2011, I believe. So on this Justice League issue, we got the Batman, Superman, and then eventually the Flash will come out. This movie will probably come out around maybe 2018 or 19 when they finally finish Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Martian Manhunter at least. They could also do other things additionally, because it could also introduce Cyborg, as Cyborg was made by Star Labs, and Star Labs was in it was in the Man of Steel first one. So potentially we could also get Cyborg, Victor Stone, in this movie, which is probably a good idea, as he's a regular Justice League character. And for those of you who don't know, the Justice League cast has been ever changing. So these 7 I've listed here are just the basic. If they go with the original cast of the Justice League, they could also throw in other characters that they want, like Hawkgirl maybe, or people like that. They can throw in maybe Supergirl, that was hinted in the Man of Steel as well. So they have unlimited potential, honestly, with this one, and they've really done this, DC Comics, to compete with Marvel, for the fact that the Avengers has broken so many records, and they want to compete with Marvel, of course. So Justice League will be a movie eventually. And as I mentioned, Christian Bale's not going to be the Batman in this one. The Batman in this one is going to be the Batman they established in Man of Steel 2, or whatever they want to call it, The World's Finest, or Batman vs. Superman, for the reason, basically, because the Dark Knight trilogy ended, and Christopher Nolan doesn't want to put his Batman into another movie, because it's basically a conclusive story. So this Batman will be the Man of Steel 2 sequel Batman. Now, as far as the Flash movie, not much has been released about it, only that it's coming out in 2016. The story hasn't really been talked about at all. So what do you think of a Justice League movie? Who do you want the actors to be? Comment below and let me know. Alright, so in British news, the 12th Doctor has been announced. His name is Peter Capaldi. Now, if you don't know, Peter Capaldi was earlier in the show. He played the Roman household person in The Fires of Pompeii, and then in the Torchwood Children of Earth series, he played John Frobisher. So he's no newcomer to the show. He's been on the show more than once. So Peter Capaldi is obviously going to be portraying an older Doctor Who instead of the young Matt Smith we finally have had for so long. And it was revealed by Matt Smith's Twitter account, that he will be leaving on the Christmas finale of this year. So Peter Capaldi will possibly be introduced either in the Christmas finale, or also he may be alluded to in the anniversary episode, which will be taking place on November 23rd to celebrate the 50th anniversary. Now, Peter Capaldi was one of many candidates to be the Doctor Who. He was rumored at the very start, but he eventually got the job, obviously, and he was announced on Doctor Who Live, The Next Doctor. After 30 minutes of waiting, everyone finally saw the Doctor, Peter Capaldi. He's no newcomer to the show. He's a big fan of the show as well. So we have a fan who's portraying the Doctor, who has been in the show before, so things really look good for Doctor Who. I imagine he's going to be more older, more wiser, and more like the first Doctor in a way, but also more like David Tennant in the fact he's smarter but still wise and older, and he knows better. Not much else has been leaked, however, this has really much topped the BBC News so far, and apparently it was important as the royal baby's name itself, which is kind of crazy, but I guess that's how it works. So the Doctor is Peter Capaldi, again. He's a British actor, and he got the part. He's the 12th Doctor. Now, we don't know who John Hurt's going to be. He's probably... So I'll have to make a video about that later. But ultimately, we have a new Doctor, Peter Capaldi. He's going to take over in the Christmas special. And I have real hopes for this Doctor, and I hope he's just as good as Matt Smith, because Matt Smith's my favorite. So what are your thoughts on the new Peter Capaldi being announced as the Doctor? Please leave your comments below. And also, if you want to see more, you can always click the subscribe button and get maxed out. Thank you.